love you, and I love your community, and I'm real. You know, I'm always excited to come and be on your show.
Yes, indeed.
In the war room.
In the war room. So peace, peace, peace. This is your international sales and marketing hitman, your humble hip hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo. And you already know what it is, man. You rocking with the best. You heard? So right now, if you guys see on your screen, I have Mr. Donnie Bryant. Let me mute this real quick. Donnie is I refer to him. Hold on, I got a feedback. Peace, peace, peace. This is your international sales and marketing. There we go. I refer to Donnie as the Jay-Z of sales copy. And it wasn't until recently I realized that he's in direct marketing, direct response marketing. He's generated over $120 million in his sales copy. Like, that's serious, y'all. Like, if you can imagine running that many appointments to accumulate 120 million, like, forget about it. Like, you're not scaling at that type of putting in effort and muscle into that. That's not an implementation type of business there.
Oh.
I'm a big sales guy, and anything that has the word sales, I'm going to learn it. Sales copy was just that next level, and I'm so upset that I never got exposed to it until like maybe a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I swear, if I got exposed to it earlier, I'd be sitting on 7-8 figures already, Donnie. I'm not kidding, because it changed my life.
Yeah.
It's changed my life, man. So, Donnie, talk to the people, man. Introduce yourself.
Well, I mean, that's a great introduction. By my latest count, the number is 100, just over 130 million now.
I believe it. Absolutely.
It's a big number. And it's funny because one of my relatives, I put it in my bio or something on Facebook, and then they start, oh, you got 9. I don't have 9 figures in my pocket. Okay. Definitely don't get the IRS to thinking that. I have generated for my clients products, services, fees, those things, in excess of $130 million. I mean, it's like what you said. It's not, most of it is not going out and doing calls. Like, it's a lot of it is products that you can, online products, trainings, events, things like that, where you can do one to many versus, just one appointment. And what else? I'm in Chicago. I'm not a Chicago native. I was just talking to Tiger. I don't know if I told you before. I was born in Alabama.
Nah, I didn't know that. Oh, you're a country boy for real.
I'm like doubly country. This is weird. I was born in Alabama in a little town called Laverne. So if anybody knows where Troy University is, it's not far from there, but it's in the middle of no place. All the dirt is red,
Nice.
My father was in the Air Force, so he retired in North Dakota, and so I spent actually most of my youth and teenage years, all my teenage years, in North Dakota. So that's country in a different way. So yeah, and then I moved to Chicago to get away from North Dakota primarily. Settled in here and discovered. I'm fortunate enough to have discovered copywriting and direct response marketing in 2007.
Now, I'm glad you said that, because that's my first question for you, right?
Yeah.
Like, how did you get started in the world of copywriting, and what inspired you to focus on sales copy specifically?
Yeah, I had. So there's a little bit of backstory before we get to the copy part. If you go all the way back, I really grew up thinking I was going to be a writer. I thought I was going to write science books or something like that.
Okay.
I tell people all the time, my grandmother, I didn't grow up with my grandmother, but we spent a lot of time there. And she had over 20,000 books in the house. Wall, floor to ceiling, the whole width of the hallway. It's filled with books, in a bedroom that nobody could sleep in because it was just covered with books. And so I grew up loving books, and I wanted to write. But as often happens, you get you go to high school and you start thinking about how am I going to make money in the real world, and college. And I got married. I was 19 when I got married, because when you meet the perfect woman, you got to snatch her up. So I did
Got
that.
to.
Well, you already know.
Dude, she was such a perfect woman. I didn't propose and she didn't propose. We just did it.
You just knew, like, wait a minute. We're there.
I sold the windows and I was like, I'm gonna marry you. That was it.
That's another reason why you love sales. Like it leads to amazing things and it changes your life. Yes. So yeah, I snatched mine up, and it's really interesting. This is off topic, so I'll make it brief. As soon as we got married, again, I was 19 and she was 20. She's almost 21. Then everybody who thought they were trying to scheme on her, as soon as we got married, then they start trying to jock her. It was crazy. We were in my dorm room, and some guy who went to that school the year before called my dorm room looking for my wife. If I ever see this dude, it's gonna be some furniture moving, right? Anyway, but being in the real world, I didn't know how to make money writing, and sitting and writing a science book or whatever seemed like a big task. So I went and did regular work, quote unquote regular work, and had many jobs. I ended up being an assistant manager at Kmart. For anyone who remembers Kmart,
yeah,
there's only like 4 left on Earth. I think 2 of them are in Puerto Rico or something. So anyway, and I was working up to 70 hours a week. Actually, often 70 hours a week. I remember working 80 hours occasionally. One day, I worked 20 and a half hours in a row with no lunch break. I worked in the middle of a tornado.
That's crazy.
Because the job had to get done. Anyway, I didn't like it very much. They didn't pay me much either. So I remember laying on the floor in my family room at home, and I was like, I gotta do something else. I had 3 kids at the time, and I want to be home with my family. I want to have energy, because when I got home after 70 hours, don't ask me to do nothing.
Yeah.
Give me a sandwich, and I'm gonna go lay in the bed. So I wanted to make money, and my wife had actually been telling me you should do something with writing for a long time, but I didn't know how to do it. But at that point, when I got to that point of I can't keep doing this, it's wearing me down physically, and I can't spend time with my family, and my kids are getting older by the minute. Mm-hmm. So I just started looking online. How do I make money from home? And it kind of came together at the same time. You can writing jobs, copywriting. What is copywriting? I never heard of it. But the idea that I don't remember exactly the first thing I saw, but it said, if you like sales and you like writing, you should do copywriting. Mm-hmm. Well, I've had sales jobs before, which I enjoyed, and I was like, okay, I bet I could do this, and I instantly just started devouring everything I could get my hands on. Now I didn't have extra money. Kmart was paying me $35,000 a year.
Put in all those hours, huh?
Yeah, so I was like averaging like $12 an hour or something like that when you divide it by the hours. So I didn't have money, but I had a library exactly across the parking lot from the Kmart. Anyway, so I read books in the library. I was online looking at John Carlton and Gary Halbert and anything I could get my hands on. So I'd work 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, and come home and read. Oftentimes I skipped the lunch break to go to the library, come home and ignore my family even more. Mm-hmm. So I could figure out this copywriting thing. And it took me a little while, but I also started trying to make money off it way before I probably should have. But I'm like, I'm spending this time. I need to make some money. So I just became a student after I discovered it. Like I said, 2007 on a random. I say random, but nothing is random, right? But I didn't intentionally go looking for copywriting, but I stumbled across it and dove in, studied, got the books. If I could get a course that somebody had pirated, I was doing that. Anything I could get.
Did you get it like exposed to it like on your own, or like did you see somebody?
It was just from that Google search. It might have been Bing. It might have been Bing at the time, or whatever. I was like, how do I make money from home? And I guess at that time, actually, Gary Halbert had just passed away. I think it was right around the same time, actually. So I didn't know that, but maybe there was this conversation about it, and I happened across some articles, and copywriting. I didn't know what it was, but I saw it, took note of it, and then I started studying it. So it was just off of the Google search.
So now, copywriting is sales copy.
Correct. Well,
Okay.
there's this is the kind of copywriting that I do. There's
Okay.
also technical copywriting, which is not designed to sell, but is designed to uh, like show people how to do things in a technical way. If you the stuff instruction book on your electric drill or whatever, uh, that's considered technical copy.
Gotcha.
You might hire a technical copywriter for that. And then there's like brand copywriting, which is a little bit different, but it's the cutesy stuff, like a Budweiser commercial.
Mm-hmm.
It's not selling directly; it's selling through imagination and getting you to like the brand, but without saying, "Hey, buy this thing now."
Okay.
You need to go
Kind
out
of
and buy
like
it
what
right.
Disney does.
Right, exactly. So sales copy or direct response marketing is saying, "Here's an offer, take advantage of it today." And
So explain to people what direct response uh sales copy is.
okay, so direct response is we're not playing no games. I'm
Okay.
sending you an email to sell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm creating a Facebook ad to get you to click on a link. So we're going for a response. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever the response is, clicking on an ad or clicking on a link in an email to buy something, or filling out a sales page, the order form at the end of a sales page to buy something. Direct response is exactly that, going for that buying response right away, and it focuses on getting people to feel emotions, the greed and the hope and the fear, or some combination of those things that prepares you to take action. Because we don't just roll out of bed and say, I want to buy a course on a course on being a notary public, right?
Right.
We get out of bed saying, how do I change my life? How do I take control of my income without having to work for a jerky boss that I can't stand? And if I ever see him, I'm telling you, next time I see him, it could be a problem. Anyway, those are the feelings that they already have. People already have.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can create copy that says that, or to the same or on the same page, someone who's already a notary public, but they're not getting the income that they want. They're not as free as they want. They're not sure how to charge a little bit more for power of attorney. Like, how do I raise my prices? How do I differentiate? They have those feelings of insecurity. I'm not sure how to do this, or despair, or excitement because they know that there's more, but they just aren't sure how to get there. So a direct response message plays on those emotions, heightens them a little bit, and then tells
Mm-hmm.
them how to respond in order to take advantage of an opportunity that they didn't see before.
Now you've worked in different industries, creating sales copy for a lot of different industries. Can
Yes.
you give us like a specific project or campaign that you worked on that had a significant impact?
Yeah. Sure. there's many.
Yeah.
One that I am particularly proud of is it's a financial newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically sell stock picks and education. So for investors and people who are thinking about becoming investors and they're not sure how to make money in the stock market. And this company was a startup. Well, not so much a startup. I think it was within the first 2 years, and they were doing like 700,000 a year, that's a good number, but far less than what their competitors were doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty small team, and it's interesting. This guy found me, or he was referred to me by somebody who had tried to hire me before, but I was too expensive for. So I told this guy, I'd love to work with you, but the fee that you want to pay me, I can't do. So instead of hiring me, like a year later, he referred me to somebody else who didn't want to pay me what he paid me, but he needed to pay me. He needed somebody, and he believed I could help him. So anyway, they needed someone who could create a front end. We'll get on more terminology here, but that's like a lower priced item. In
Okay.
this case, a newsletter, uh, to get people who don't know you, to get them to buy from you. Something that's pretty easy to buy, but it lends itself to upsells, cross sells, and all those things. And they couldn't quite figure out how to do it. They were working hard. They had a couple of cool products, but they weren't sure how to really get the amount of money they were paying for ads was not yielding the kind of results that they wanted. And the reason for that is the sales letter that they had to sell their front end product was not that good. It was not that good. And anyway, so they hired me. And interestingly, that's not the first thing that they had me work on, but it's the thing that they hired me to do. But then it was like they had some other kind of promotion going on. So anyway, I'm getting lost in details here. They had this product was basically this. It follows the movements of the big investors, the people who are spending, $1 billion per trade. Not your average human beings, but institutions like J.P. Morgan and BlackRock and Warren Buffett, people like that. And the idea was, which they didn't say it this way, the way that they said it was more like more or less spying on the big investors. And it worked a little bit. It wasn't great. And as I began to study it, my angle was copy and paste. The copy and paste was the thing. Copy and paste the trades of the most successful investors. But more than that, I found some pieces of research that really showed how powerful these institutions were and some of the tricks that they play on people, not tricks that they play on people, but tricks that they use to ensure that they win at will. They can make money at will.
Okay.
Anyway, so we created the emotion was the market is rigged. You're being miseducated on how to take advantage of it by people who are going to play you. They want you to invest so they can take your money. And so that emotion, which already exists, because many people feel, when I try to invest, if you invest long term, you don't really think about this because you just put money in the stock market and let it sit. But for people who are trying to get in and out and make 50% or 100% within a year or less, they're frustrated because half of their trades or more of them stink. they go into the toilet. So anyway, these guys are anxious. They want to make more money. They want to be more successful. And we're saying you can't because they won't let you. But if you do what they do, you can't lose. You can't.
Yeah.
I have 99.52% accuracy in JP Morgan's on their own trades. Because obviously you think of JP Morgan, it's a bank, but they also invest. They invest money for themselves and for their clients. So when I found this piece of data that showed they had only lost money on something like 5 days. I think it was 5 days in 3 years. So 99.52% of the time, they're making money. And we have a way for you to see what they're doing. And if you do what they're doing, you'll win. So anyway, it's a long form video.
This was the sales copy that you guys were putting on the landing pages.
Right. So we got an ad that says something like, stop losing money because they're the institution, the big money people are playing you. They're cheating. There's no way you can win unless you do this. And you click here. So the direct response on that is you need to find out why you can't win or why you win so seldomly and how you can win more. So you click to the it's a long sales page, 8,000 words, something like that. So it's like 45 minutes if you read it, which we did have a video version of it. And then they find that out. There's 6 ways that these guys are taking advantage of you, sucking you in and taking your money. And then here's how we can show you how to just do what they're doing and you'll win by default because they're making themselves win. And if you just do what they're doing, you can't lose. Which, of course, is a bit of an exaggeration. Not that you can't lose. They do lose sometimes. And you can't do exactly what they do. But you have the best chances. And this is actually like the product really did this. So if you did with the trade, with the recommendations where you make money, more often than not. So anyway, this was crazy. The business was, we were able to start buying ads and I can't remember the exact number, but it just like totally transformed the cost of acquisition. So the amount of money you're spending on ads to get someone to look at your sales page and to get someone who buys on at the end of the sales page, the cost went down dramatically. So we were able to spend a lot more money and bring a lot more people in. And we also found that people took the upsell. So this was a $97 product. Okay. And the upsell was $2,000, I think. So people were it was like 33% more or 33% higher likelihood of buying the $2,000 product. So if you spend $8 on an ad, to get somebody to watch a sales letter or whatever it is, the number I can't remember. and then they buy the $97 thing, whatever percentage it is, 3%. But then also they buy the $2,000 thing. Now you're able to spend a lot more money on acquisition. And we, just that alone, we were able to take the business from 700,000. So within just a few months, we were doing 2.1 million. We tripled the business like really fast just off of that. We didn't change anything else. Just doing what we were doing. So the idea here is, and then actually we were able to get them to 5 million within 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this was all automated as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm writing, and there's moving pieces in the business, but the ads are set up to run, and emails go out, and sales page runs automatically, and the money's collected, and that's it. So yeah, mostly automated. Of course, any job has some moving parts that you had to do, but yeah.
So like, with my audience is predominantly entrepreneurs and notary publics, and one of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of notaries that I come in contact with do not have the elements of where they would inject sales copy, like the landing page, like the email list, and the automation. Where I want to say this, right? Because in our business, our mouthpiece is what makes the money, right? The way we effectively communicate what we will do for the client is what's going to get the client to spend either $20, or you can get them to spend $250, depending on the way that you communicate, your package or your presentation. So with the notary business, how do you see notaries can actually benefit from sales copy?
I mean, that's a great question. And the question of the day, your mouthpiece is multiplied by your sales copy.
Yes.
Right. So you don't have to be in someone's face or on the phone selling them personally. Every time, every call that comes in, you got to feel that. When you could send them to, I mean, that's copy too. Voicemails, like inbound voicemails, outbound call scripts, that's copy. I wrote outbound call scripts for a life insurance company. Well, life insurance brokerage.
Wait. So the call script that I designed, that's sales copy? I did that shit by default.
It can be copied. It's a lot of times people are winging it, which is dangerous, right? You nail a script down and get everybody to do the script, and everybody makes more money. Well, in general, but you can have a copywriter do that, or a salesperson do it. But I mean, we consider it sales copy because it's an automated way. Well, it's not automated per se if you're delivering it personally, but it's scripted. It's written out, planned by a strategist like you. And so copywriting is kind of the same. Anything that you need to communicate persuasively, you can multiply it by having sales copy on your website, on your landing page, on social media, in your emails. Because a lot of times we're not doing things strategically. We're just posting, oh, it's a funny meme, right? Nobody's buying from you from that. You know that, but I guess we're just trying to maintain attention, get people to like us. But at the point where you're trying to persuade someone to take action, you need to have some sales copy. Another thing that I've advertised, not advertised, wow, my words are all jumbled. I recommend this all the time. Any entrepreneur who has something to sell should have some kind of a lead magnet, which is like a free giveaway. And it could be literally anything. It could be a PDF, like a checklist, things that you need to do when you're thinking about power of attorney. Or to make it more emotional, which is the point, 8 mistakes retirees make with power of attorney that cost them a fortune. I can give you that for free. And then you have a landing page. Someone just gives you the email address, and you have that set up with your email system to deliver automatically the PDF. And now they're on your email list, and you can communicate with them. And so they're thinking about power of attorney or whatever your industry is or whatever your particular offer is.
Yeah.
But now they're on your list, which means you don't have to hope that they see your next social post. You don't have to hope that the next time they Google something, you pop up on the top of the list. That you don't have to hope that their local search, that they're in the local area where you are, especially for mobile notaries, right? You want people all over the place.
Yeah.
So I advise notaries, I advise plumbers, I advise real estate agents, dog groomers. Everybody could have just something simple like that, a free giveaway, and it could be something you already have a lot of times. Just you give it away for free in exchange for email addresses, and then you just communicate with those people to try to sell them over time. Hopefully they buy right away, but not everybody's ready to buy today. And some people will buy 10 times from you. So you want to get them on an email list and continue to persuade them over time.
And you're right, because I did that with one of my landing pages where I created I think it was 7 steps, 7 crucial steps before getting a power of attorney done. And it was a free giveaway, and people were opting in because, one, it was free, and then they would jump on my list, and I would have the opportunity to remarket to them and then sell my services.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is so valuable. And for those that have websites, your websites need sales copy in that as well.
Yeah.
Your landing page is basically a condensed version of a website,
right?
But it has one specific goal.
Exactly.
So when I met you in Atlanta, and I was you had my mind thinking. When I created a landing page, the first landing page I created was just for power of attorney. And it just went over everything that a person could possibly need or want to find out about. Can we service them or offer a solution for their problem? And that's when I first experienced automation, passive income.
Yeah.
Because people were booking appointments without me talking to them. And I was like, this ain't real. Right. I was like, it was freaky, man, because it was like the first one came from Michigan. And I was like, one, I have to find a notary to run that assignment.
Yeah.
But the way it came through, it was like, man, I didn't talk to this person. I landed this deal. This person paid up, and I was like, this sales copy is genius.
It is. It's just a way of multiplying yourself.
Yes.
Yourself. And the great thing is, see, unlike me on this call here, rambling and saying all kinds of stuff, you get to fine tune your copy so it sings like what you would say to somebody in person, but minus some of the pleasantries and whatever. Getting straight to the point. What is it that people struggle with? What is it that they wonder? What is it that they're worried about? What is it that they should worry about? You nail them with it. And not in a bad way. You just show them. In order for you to get the result that you want, you have to avoid these bad things and do these good things. And who better to show you than the guy who's pointing out the truth to you? Or I say guy, the person who's showing the truth to you. I'm going to tell you the truth, and then I'm going to help you get the result that you want. And so your sales copy just laser focuses, and you can have multiple landing pages for multiple things. You should. And it could be for your service, a landing page where at the bottom they pay you. It doesn't have to be free. I like having free giveaways so that you have someone's email address, so that you can stay in front of them forever until they tell you to leave them alone. But a landing page is the same thing. A sales version of the landing page is the same thing. You just, instead of asking for the email address, you ask for the credit card. So, it's a way of multiplying yourself at scale.
Yeah.
But in an automated way. So you don't have to be like you said, don't have to be on the call all the time. You don't have to drive all over the place. Just do an in-person presentation.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I mean to cut you off, but where would a person have, like, if somebody never been exposed to sales copy before, they're a notary public, where should they start?
It's a good question. I guess it really depends on your level of, oh my goodness, sorry about that. It depends on your level of sophistication with sales.
Mm-hmm.
If you became a notary, but you're not, big on sales, right? I found something that I can do. It seems simple enough. It's straightforward. I don't have to come up with anything creative. I'm going to go provide the service, and that's it. Then you need probably to start like at the beginning, something that I love, and it's free, in order to start thinking about how copywriting works. And it's simple, but just why it works and how to use it. It's called scientific advertising. And it's close to 100. It's like 80 years old now. It's very simple. You can get it for free online. You just search for it, and there's free options, or you can pay for it on Kindle. It's probably 99 cents. And it starts to run down the basics of how copy works, why people respond to copy, and how you can start to think about writing your own sales copy. It's old, but as far as basic explanations that someone doesn't charge you a whole lot of money to get, I think that's a great place to start. I think if you're more sophisticated with sales, you kind of know why people respond to things.
Yeah.
Then you can start with something a little more sophisticated. And there's resources all over the place. I'm not sure what the best thing to be would be, or the best thing to start with would be. But just begin searching. There's courses if you feel like spending money. I love the Gary Halbert letter, which is also free. Starts to talk about more sophisticated. He's also he does a lot of direct mail, so it's a little bit older, but talks about coming up with ideas and selling in a way that's very effective and unique. Most people are not going to do what you'll learn from him to do, and that gives you an advantage over everybody else. So, those are good resources. Those are kind of classic resources. I'm not necessarily up to speed with all the stuff everybody's putting out these days. I like the classic stuff.
Well, you have an offer. We're gonna get into that later on in the show. Yeah. But I wanted to ask you. You coined this phrase called human attention algorithm.
Yes.
What is that?
So as I came up with this, we're talking about AI. We're in an AI world now, right? And so we think about how there's algorithms with Netflix, with Instagram, with TikTok, but also the large language models like ChatGPT run algorithms to determine probabilities, which is how they spit out what they give you. And so I'm responding really to that. I think that the human mind also has an algorithm that it goes through in order to decide where your limited attention is going to go. Because if there's a trillion things that are screaming for your attention at every moment. Somebody's texting you, there's a notification on your messenger, and there's a client deadline, it's coming, and your kids are screaming in the background, all these things. What are you going to pay attention to? And so there's a process that we go through. Now everybody's a little different based on your experiences, based on what you're trying to do in your environment. But I want to say that there are ways that we can think about being intentional about getting the attention that we need to start whatever presentation we're going to make. It's a sales presentation. You don't want to talk to a distracted prospect. You don't want to do that. You ever try to sell on a subway before?
Actually, I have.
You can do it, but it's not the easiest thing.
No, it's not. And I walked through cart to cart. Bro, when I came to Chicago, I was a beast with it, man. I was trying to sell health club memberships on the red line. I started at the back of the train, and by the time my stop got at Belmont, I was at the front of the train, man. That shit is tough. It's rough, man.
It is. And because there's multiple distractions, there's people all around. The people you're talking to don't know you. Where's my stop?
Yeah.
And all the things and it's noisy. And so you got to try and focus them, maintain their focus, maintain their attention. So that environment is hard to sell in. But the point is, if we want, no matter what the environment is, we need to get attention, focused attention, so that people can hear what we have to say, so that they can respond in the appropriate way. If people are distracted, they won't give you their attention. They won't really get you. You could say the most brilliant thing.
Yeah.
BMW keys are right behind your left elbow. Turn around and it's yours. But they didn't hear that, all right? Because they're distracted. So it doesn't matter how good your message is if they're not paying attention. So the human attention algorithm, which I can't scientifically, neurologically, or psychologically prove, at least not yet. But as I've spent years studying how people respond to marketing messages in multiple industries, in multiple media, across multiple demographic groups, I have discovered some things that really work. And so
share some of those things.
Okay.
Yeah. Put the mad scientist hat on.
Some of these are well, let me say this. People, just biologically, you respond to fear. You can't help it. If something begins to make you question your safety, that's your physical safety, your social safety, your emotional safety, any of those things, your attention span, your focus becomes very attentive. Attention becomes focused. I got to protect myself. That's the most important thing. And so if you're sending an email, it's hard to scare someone like being in their face. But an email that talks about something that someone's already scared about, worried about, nervous about, if they try to keep it in the back of their mind, you can pop it back to the front of their mind, and you can't help but respond to that. One of the best subject lines I ever got. This was not marketing, but I was at a meeting, and everybody got this email that says bomb threat it was downtown Chicago. Bomb threat. The meeting stops. I don't care about what you're talking about. And you didn't throw a bomb in my face, but if you said there's a bomb threat, I'm at least paying attention to that. Yeah. I can't be in this building anymore. I got to do something else. And you can simulate that with people whose fears you know. Now, it sounds manipulative, and it is. But we manipulate for a good reason. We're not trying to hurt anybody. We're not trying to take advantage of anybody. But manipulate means to skillfully manage. Like you manipulate a fork, that's how you learn how to eat. You're manipulating, you're using it skillfully. And so we want to help people get out of their own way so that they can do what's good for them. And buying from us is what's good for them because we care about them. We're going to help you not get screwed over by the other people who don't actually care about you. So anyway, fear. I like to talk about fear. People don't like to talk about fear, but I tell people this all the time. If someone's going to have a heart attack, you don't want to talk about fish oil. You want to talk about a heart attack.
Yeah.
Like, this fish oil is pure. It's from Norwegian. No, we do that later. First thing you say is, the American Heart Association said, I just saw this today. American Heart Association said in the next 60 seconds, 3 people are going to suffer cardiac arrest. Is it you? Now, for someone who doesn't care about that's not going to work. But for the audience who they're already aware, my grandfather had a heart attack, my father had a heart attack, and my blood pressure is low high. My cholesterol is out of control, and I love pork rinds. This thing will catch your attention, and all right, now it's got your attention because it's something that you're already thinking about, or at least you're already aware of. And so fear is one of the key things, not key things, but one of the first things in the human attention algorithm. That's not appropriate for every message. And you can't go too far. Like if you freak someone out, they won't buy. Fear is like a way in, and we can use that. But so that's just one of the first ones. And everyone can use fear because guess what? If you get power of attorney wrong,
exactly,
right? If your notary misses a step, I don't know all the steps, right? But if they do, you can miss out on an opportunity. You blew money, you lost time, you may never fully recover from that.
Yeah.
Seemed like a small deal, but it's not. Everybody I know, he's talking about it's $200. I'm not playing around $200. You better get that right.
Yeah.
And like you said, there's deadlines and things like that. So everyone can use fear sometimes. So that's one of the parts of the algorithm. I think another one, and people know this, but most entrepreneurs don't think about it, is stories. People want to hear stories. They pay attention to stories. They don't feel pressured by stories if you're telling them in an authentic way. If your story is overtly a sales message, then people don't count it as a story. They count it as a sales message. But we could tell stories about, be our stories, it could be our clients' stories, they could be famous people's stories. But when people start to hear stories, it's true. We've all heard that had that happen. When someone starts telling a story, you start paying attention in a different way, and your sales defenses go down. Your critical thinking, not in a bad way, but your critical thinking becomes a little less critical because it's just a story. One's throwing algebra at you, or throwing legalese at you. It's a story, and it's your experience. I can't question your experience. It's what you went through, or it's what Jay-Z went through, or whatever. And so we like stories, and we just had to think about our stories and how we can tell our stories in a way that gets a point across that it advances the sale. And so there's a lot of ways to do that, but we are oftentimes think that's for somebody else, but it's not. Most of your peers aren't doing it, which means when you do it, you got an advantage. Who are the most interesting people you know? They tell stories.
Yeah,
all of them. And so stories is another algorithmic key.
No, it's funny you say that because I know a few of these notary gurus and notary coaches, and they intentionally study sales copy. This is something that they don't reveal out to the public.
Yeah.
But I wish they did. I think I'm probably the first or only notary person to bring a sales copywriter onto a platform and talk about like how notaries need to understand sales copy.
Yeah.
How they need to start practicing and writing sales copy, because a lot of these coaches and gurus are using it on you. And you're wondering why you're buying their courses and all of their products. It's because they have mastered, or I won't say mastered, but they're writing effective copy.
Yeah.
And you're thinking like, wow, this person really understands me. No, he is studying you.
Right.
And he's using what Donnie said. He's using some fear and then he tells a couple of stories, and then he gets a couple of testimonials, and it's a wrap.
Right.
You're pulling out your credit card and you're paying up that sum.
Right. The great thing about it is because the gurus are doing it, but most people are not. Again, when you begin to do what the gurus do, you elevate above your peers by default, because they're not even thinking about it. But you should, again, this is like anything else. If it works on you, you should think about why and how can I do the same thing to improve my business, and again, really help people. Because I talk crazy, I say wild things, and it sounds like I'm, up to no good. But I care about people. I really want people to get great results, and so I believe you got to do whatever you have to do to.
I'm sorry. Hello, did you say something?
Oh, somebody's off mute.
Coach T. You got to do what you got to do to get people to take the action that they need to take. Slap people around for their good. It's just what we got to do, and again, it's profitable for us, but it's good for them. People get in their own way so much, right? They don't want to we don't want to exercise. We don't want to give up pork chops when we just had a heart attack. Right? Hey, it's worth dying for, and maybe it is. Maybe it is, but for someone who cares about you, they're going to try and get you to not eat the pork chop. And for someone who cares about you, they're going to try and make sure that you have all your paperwork in order, and they're going to try and make sure that your business is profitable, where you can stop working 80 hours a week. And yeah, I should profit from that because I'm giving you value. I should charge for it. But again, we're really being intentional about helping people and pulling out all the stops between them and the thing that they need to do. So that includes using emotions. It includes, I guess manipulation is the word. My nose really itches. I apologize.
Now, do you? I know. How do you feel about Dan Kennedy?
I love that guy. See, this section of books here.
Yeah.
Almost all of those are Dan Kennedy. And one of the books I paid $300 for.
I just started studying him like recently.
I love
Like,
it.
He said something called he broke it up in 3 phases. He said problem, agitate, and then solution.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So you find out what the problem is, you agitate the hell out of it and make it as big and scary and hairy as possible. Yep. And then you offer your solution. Like I said, man, I wish I studied sales copy a lot sooner, because I got blackballed, right? Shadow banned from Google last year. I was hurt, dude, like, because that was my notary business, and I had like 70 listings, and and all of this stuff. But what is actually keeping me rocking now is sales copy and all of the stuff that you've taught me, as far as email marketing and landing pages, and understanding what I'm doing with the sales copy and copywriting. Bro, I don't want to go back to that life now. Like, you could keep your listings.
Right.
I'm good over here. Like, this is, I've heard and I've seen people experience this before. I heard people like, oh yeah, they go to the coffee shop, they'll write out a couple of things, and then off they go in their Lamborghini, right? And enjoy the rest of their day, or they're at the beach. And I'm like, I want that lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sales copy has allowed me to have that lifestyle. Like, it's the weirdest thing, man. I didn't think it was possible coming from institutionalized schooling.
They definitely don't teach you anything along these lines.
That shit is ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening and you're on this show right now, you got to get sales copy into your arsenal. You have, in this day and age, in the 21st century, or get prepared to work for the rest of your damn life.
You don't have an option. You don't.
Straight up.
Unless you got a rich uncle or auntie the competition is getting worse and worse. And by worse, I just mean it's fiercer. There's a trillion other options. And guess what? I can watch cat videos instead of reading your email, right? I can scroll through Instagram instead of staying on your website, even though I got a problem that you can solve.
Yeah.
If you're not communicating in a way that's clear, in a way that's compelling, in a way that really shows me what's in it for me, I'll go look at something else.
Yeah.
And so that's where sales copy comes in. If you got a website, how many people got? I mean, I'm not asking you guys, but I mean, like, how many websites have we seen that is just like, it's so boring, I gotta leave.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to be here. You don't want to be that person. And so,
yeah, boring is not the move right now. I mean, like, I'm gonna be like really harsh and raw with this. Look, you're competing with ass and titties on Instagram, my dude. You're competing with people shoveling money and throwing it off a boat on YouTube. Like, you really have to be interesting.
You got to.
If not, you're dead in the water, man. Like, it's Donnie, like, I've been selling belly to belly.
Yeah.
Since I was 20. I'm 40, I'm 45, 40, 46. I lose count sometimes. But I've been selling belly to belly for over 20 years. And that is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Because when the month is over, the clock sets back. Right? And you have to start at zero again. Now, sales copy allows me, I'm talking about today. Yeah. Sales copy allows me to make sales while I'm asleep, while I'm taking my kids to school.
Yeah.
While we're at Sky Zone or something. Like, it's a different form of getting money, and it allows you to scale. Now, India was saying she struggled with what to give away as a notary.
Okay. So
What would you say to that?
what specialty do you have, India? You have a specialty or a special audience that you target?
I do apostilles, power of attorneys. I do everything, but I really like the apostille space and the power of attorney space.
Okay. Is there an audience? Like, is there a specific demographic you target, or is it pretty much whoever is looking?
At this point, it's pretty much whoever's looking.
Okay, so this is what I do to everybody. I ask questions. Is there something that's unique about your approach to apostilles, or the way that you talk to people? Is there anything? This sounds critical. It's not.
No, I'm trying to think. I guess what a lot of people don't realize when they need an apostille is that, I mean, effectively they could do it themselves. But generally, if I meet someone before 12 a.m., if I meet someone before 2 p.m., I can get it back to them same day. So that's kind of what I sell, is the same day turnaround, because, you know, of course, if I'm offering the same day service, then I can charge more.
Right. Okay. Okay. In terms of giveaways, that probably doesn't have too much, which is not your fault. Here's something that just in a general kind of way. I like what I said previously. If you say 3 costly mistakes that people make with apostilles, and you could do that as a PDF. You could do it as a video too. You just get on camera. If you feel comfortable, get on camera. Mm-hmm. In this 6-minute video, I'm going to show you 3 costly mistakes that people make, and if you have a target audience that you want to target, that, or a special area that you want to focus on, you could say, like we're in Chicago, right? It's 3 costly mistakes that Chicagoans make with apostilles that are costing them big time, or causing whatever problem that those mistakes cause. So yeah, I'm just going to show you the 3 things, and once you know these things, you'll be prepared to do this the right way. Protect yourself, and make sure that you don't overpay, whatever the things are. And so it could be a video, it could be a PDF. Yeah, either of those things would be. And it doesn't have to be like a unique problem that you solve, but it's just problems that are mistakes that people make. I see a lot of people doing this, and when you do that, then this happens. You don't want that to happen, or it's null and void if you don't do this. Again, I don't know all the specifics, but something like that is relatively easy to create and give away.
Okay, that sounds doable.
Awesome, thank you, Donnie. So let me ask you this: how do you test and measure the effectiveness of your sales copy?
Well, you put it out, and you got to measure response in whatever. Like if it's an email, for example, open rates are kind of hard to tell, but nobody cares about anything but money anyway. If I send out, you can in your email service provider, if you got ConvertKit or MailerLite, MailChimp, Constant Contact, any of those, you can A/B split test, which means you can send a percentage of the list one message, and you send them another segment of the list a different message, and you just see which one gets more money. Or if you're getting people to sign up for an event like this, come onto my live stream, you would probably have to measure clicks on that. Unless you have it where it's connected to your platform, you might be able to measure registrants if you have registration. Anyway, but you're going to measure which one gets the result that you want more. And you can actually have it, if you split test, you can do a test. This is how I usually do it. If you have 20, you can take 20% of the list and send them one message, 20% of the list, send them another message, and then give it an hour, 2 hours, depending on how long it usually takes to get some kind of response. And then the one that creates the best, the most results, gets the balance of the list, gets the better performing message. So in that case, it'd be 60% of the list. So that way, more people get the best performing email, but you don't necessarily know which one will work best in advance. You do the same thing with Facebook ads, right? You just have multiple ad variations. Which one is creating more? If you're selling something low ticket, or if you're trying to get people to sign up or do a opt in to a list, which one has higher? Which one is performing better? Which one's getting more people? I guess you got to factor cost in, but cost isn't everything either. So whatever the math looks like, you get more people, but you're paying more. Maybe it's worth more. Another wrinkle in that, and this is complex, but I'll just say it. People who come in on one particular ad may convert to an upsell at a different rate than the other one too. So you got to look at the measure all the way through. If someone comes in on an ad that says, free notary lesson, whatever. And then they have another lesson that says 10 things you don't do if you want to be a successful notary. So they're two different offers. And then someone comes in, it could be the same offer, but two different messages. And then someone comes in, this one, you may find that when the upsell is, the coaching, some people may pay for, or when one ad may provide a higher quality of prospect for that offer. So anyway, I say that to say, you spend money on ads and you see which one gives you better results, or you send out emails and you see which one gives you better results, or you send traffic to two different versions of a sales page and you see which sales page sells more. So you can use something like Visual Web Optimizer, or a lot of the platforms that you have lead pages or click funnels. You can do split testing sales pages as well. So anyway, you just got to measure it.
Yeah.
Put it out there, test it, and see which one gives you more of the result that you want.
So Donnie, real quick, you have a new project out right now. You pull it up on the screen. Talk about that. We have I by the way, I bought my copy yesterday, but you have the subject line science, which the bonuses by itself was enough for me. What is it?
There's two things. There's a video training called Big Ideas for Unforgettable Emails. So it's like 48-minute long video training, which has some of the emails that I feel most excited about having written. These are, anyway, you'll learn really I'll show you 4 ways to come up with ideas that will make emails. So we're talking about you can't be boring. These are how you make emails that are not boring, emails that get people to take action, and emails that people will remember later on. So also people associate big ideas with your name, and they want to see your next email, because this person, when I open their emails, they always tell me something good. They always tell me something interesting. They always show me something that I need to know. So that's one of the bonuses. And the other one is 104 subject line templates. So I've got subject lines that I've used or tested, and I kind of explain a little bit how it works. And then I make a, fill in the blank kind of template where you can use it for yourself. Now, there's going to be a lot more in the book, but I wanted these as bonuses, which are only going to be available for people who pre-order the book, which pre-orders will end on Thursday, maybe Friday morning. The book will be official on Friday. I haven't figured out what time I'm going to do it. But to be safe, I'd say Thursday. You get those things, and then also for people who pre-order, I haven't even told you about the book yet, but for people who pre-order, you're going to get access to the audio file as well. So the audio book at no additional cost, which normally you pay, at least as much as you pay for the regular book. It's not on Amazon yet. I'm going to get it to Amazon at some point. I was just perfecting this on my own platform right now. But okay, so subject line science is really, the subtitle is 11 Major Look Secrets to Get Emails Opened and Read. So again, we were talking about I've produced $130 million for clients, and emails is driving a huge percentage of those sales. Not 100%, but a huge percentage of those sales. And so I've spent a lot of time and written thousands of subject lines, studied mine and other people's subject lines to see what really performs well. You're going to hack the attention algorithm, human attention algorithm, in order to get their attention, get them to open an email, but also set up the contents of the email so people are ready to take action on what you're going to tell them. So I say that to say I've spent a lot of time and a lot of money, mostly other people's money, learning what works.
Yeah.
And I'm breaking it down in this book. It's called Science is in the title, but it's not a scientific book. It's not dense and complex, but there's 11 different categories, really categories of emails, or really there are factors that make emails effective, that relate to the human attention algorithm. And once you begin to understand those, you'll be equipped to write banger subject lines yourself. But also, I'm going to give you some additional templates that you can use for my experience. So you're going to be able to use my subject lines, alter them to fit your offer and your style and your voice. But you can use the same things for yourself, and then you'll also figure out how to effectively write subject lines for yourself. And that's important because, like we said, you got to get attention, you got to get people to open their emails, and you got to get people to click emails. So the subject line is where that starts. And then the big idea of video training, which is the bonus only for pre-orders, kind of shows you how it's not the entire thing, but it gives you the basis for creating really great emails that people are going to want to take action on after they open. So this is basically everything I've learned in 16 years doing email marketing.
Now, this is the steal my subject lines alone by itself has made me bread, bro. And this is when you were making the videos, the short videos on YouTube. Oh my God.
It is interesting. A lot of the ones in the PDF are different from the ones in the video. So if you watch the video,
oh really?
I have 120 videos.
Yeah.
There's 104. I don't remember exactly how many there's the overlap, but if you watch both, I don't know why I didn't silence my phone. But so I didn't even point that out. If you get the bonus, it's 104 subject lines. If you look at the free videos on YouTube, there's 120 of them. They're a minute long at most. They're between 15 seconds and a minute. Most of them are 50 plus seconds. Where I show you a subject line and I explain what makes it really great and how you can use it. Then you got I'm going to wager at least 150 subject lines that you can steal for yourself and use without. I'm not asking you to give me credit for it. And it's yours. It's for you. I want you to go and send emails that get opened. I see way too many emails that get. They're scrolling and going past them, or they're deleting them without even reading them. But if you write great subject lines, you're at least going to get people to stop scrolling and consider it. And so that's what the purpose of what we're doing here is.
No, it's fantastic, bro. As soon as I saw this was coming out, I had to get it like immediately. And ladies and gentlemen, it's only $9.99. like a Happy Meal and a McFlurry is going to be $10.
And really, I considered making this a course and charging $47 for it, but I really wanted to have this as accessible as possible. And also, the other thing that one of my friends told me, I didn't even think about it, but he bought the book too. He's like, I'm going to use this as a reference.
Yeah,
and just keep it here, and it'll be just like a dictionary. I need a subject line idea, and you can just go in here. So that's true for the 104 steal my subject line, the bonus. The book, I think, also, like I said, there are examples of each of the 11 categories. And again, there's some overlap between the 104 and the videos, but you're going to get a ton more ideas. And again, the understanding why they work, so that even if you don't use those, even if you don't steal those, you want to write your own, it will help you understand at a very high level how you can do the same thing.
Yeah.
I think this sounds braggadocious, but I believe it's true. I'm one of the best subject line writers on earth. And I don't really know anybody else who's showing this like this. But I want to break it down and make it easy for y'all, for everybody. $9.99. I probably could have made it $7. $9.99 is what it is.
Ben Brown said $9.99. I know I almost fell out my seat after seeing that. Yeah, it's $10, man. I can open up my Aweber account and show you how my open rate has gone up, and then when my open rate goes up, people read the content that's actually in there. Now that I have their attention, then I can actually either direct them to see a free video, purchase a product, join a masterclass. It's stupid, y'all.
Right. And it's just like taking somebody off of the subway instead of selling them on the subway, which is that inbox, which is full of crazy noise.
It's a different
Pause
game.
for a second, open the email, and now it's you and me. It's just you and me. And I'm going to show you what you need to know to accomplish the goals that you have and to avoid the fears that you have.
We got a question from my boy Ben Brown out there in Florida. Ben, you're live and on the air, brother. Might have to unmute yourself.
My bad.
You no, you're all good. What's up, brother?
All right, cool, man. Hey, not much. Thanks. This is amazing, man. I love it. So I got a couple of questions, and just to give you a little background, I have not done like sales copy, but I have worked as an SEO copywriter.
Okay. See, that's the other
Yep. So what I found is that writing for myself has been the way more challenging than writing for clients.
Sure.
One of the things that I wanted to ask you about and get your feedback on is like, I've identified 3 main avatars for my mobile notary service. One is the adult child / caregiver of senior parents.
Okay.
The other is a senior spouse, and then law firm staff. And it seems like since I started taking note of who's been calling me, they've been even, neck and neck.
Interesting.
So the challenge that I've run into when it comes to writing copy is, do I just break it out into different landing pages for each avatar, or like in the case of like Google ads, like do I just try to find a baseline of something that might possibly appeal to all 3, or just do different ads for each one?
I couldn't be happier that you asked this question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
It's a spectacular question. And I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs have asked me this question. They don't like my answer. But you'll find, with almost zero chance of being wrong here, that a specified specific landing pages and ads will outperform. Especially with your ads. If you have an ad that you try to talk to everyone, you're going to have a much lower click rate, much higher cost per conversion, and it's going to give you a lower quality. It's interesting, but that means you have to write 3 times as many ads, or just focus on one target audience at a time. But if you even just saying the name law firm, adding that specificity will make it more clickable, more people will say, okay, this is for me. And that's super key. This is for me. Then they click and they get to the landing page and they say, this is for me. This is what I want. And everything else can be the same except for identifying who it is and the key points that matter to them. It will outperform. I put my own money on it.
Okay. Perfect. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Yep. And I got, let's see here. I've been taking some notes. Let me let me ask you this: when it comes, you were talking about the emotionality of copy, right? Hitting people between the eyes, so to speak.
Yes.
How would you recommend doing that, like in something as short as like a Google ad?
Yeah.
You don't have a whole lot. I want to say it's like 30 characters on
the headline is
and
30.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there's only so much that you can do. I write more Google ads, and I can't mention it. But really it depends on the offer as well. Because if you're trying to retrofit an ad, how do I make the ad interesting, but the offer isn't emotional? Or you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make the ad emotional, but the offer doesn't really address emotional points, then it's kind of difficult. But there are some basic emotions that people feel automatically. So if you go to the core of what you're trying to solve with the thing that's on the other end of the ad, for example, if it's a bankruptcy thing, right? Stop, stop being broke, whatever. Like you can fit that in 30 characters. That's probably 23 characters. Not to say that you would use that, but stop being broke. That's emotional because my emotion about being broke is what it is. All you're doing is tapping into the emotion that they already have. I'm sick of
Right.
I'm sick of being buried under a credit card debt. But you want to say something also that they have seen 100 times. Stop being broke is probably not that. So I recommend you do the best you can by getting to the reason why your offer really matters. In Google Ads, there's some search intent, right? So you kind of know what they're thinking by how they end up on the ad pops up for them. So you may be able to get to some emotionality based around the solution that they're looking for.
Okay.
Divorce sucks. Yeah, it does. Right. So it'd be like
Right.
how to find a lawyer, a divorce lawyer. But this will keep you from stabbing your spouse. You don't say that. They'll never run that. They'll never approve that. But you see what I'm saying? Like there's emotion in what they're already feeling. But you're gonna again, like you said, the amount of the character count is very limited. 30, and then it's 90 characters, something like that. In the So there's only so much you can do with the headline. In the body, though, 90 characters, you can get something in there. You just have to boil down what's the core reason that they're looking for your services, that they would look for your services if they need, what would make them interested in your service. And the core reason is going to be emotional in and of itself, probably. They're tired, they're frustrated, they're nervous, they're excited, right? Any of those things could be I like to say negative stuff, but they're excited. There's an opportunity that they want to take advantage of. And if it's an opportunity that they don't know they could take advantage of, you got to simplify it down even more. You just, you want more money. Okay, well, there's a unique way of making money. You're not going to explain an option strategy in the ad, but you're going to just talk about what's the end result. You can make 6 times more money, even if the stock market sucks, even if the stock market keeps going down. And so that's kind of how I recommend that. It's hard to say in a generic way, but if you look at look at specific ads, we can try and find ways of getting into that.
No, that make perfect sense. That definitely spoke to me.
Look, I run Google ads for boring stuff because I have a client who, we got to sell this thing. And it's like there's not that much interesting about it. So I definitely understand the struggle.
Right.
And that's why I said retrofitting an emotional ad to a boring offer. Like, what do I do about this? If you're excited about something only to sell you something that isn't interesting, you're going to get to the landing page and not click anyway. So then I just wasted money on getting you to click.
Right. But what you're saying, though, the way that you're describing it, though, to break it down, I think what you're saying is just get to the destination, get to the meat of the matter, like where they're trying to go.
Yeah.
And then that way, even if it's a boring topic, it'll be interesting to them, right?
Right. That's exactly right. Unless watch this. Well, I won't say that because I was going to say if you have something that's really unique, then you highlight the but is there anything super unique in Notary? I don't know.
Right.
Well, if you want to explain it, you want to explain it on the landing page versus in the ad.
Absolutely.
So you're right.
One thing Tiger mentioned that I wanted to piggyback off of, and this is the last thing, I promise, is when it comes to like the copy that we do as notaries, most of it really is in what we say on the phone.
Yeah.
Most of it is. And then outside of that, of course, you do have your web, your page copy, and then your ads. So when it comes to like the ads, the struggle that I have with using my ad budget on like building an email list is, wanting that instant gratification of a booking, versus I know it's going to be real helpful if I can build a list, but I just never get around to building it because it's like, man, if I'm gonna spend money, I want to spend it on getting some customers in the door right away. What would you recommend for building the list? Would you recommend just building some organic landing pages, or do you still recommend doing ads to that?
Well, there's a couple things that you can do. One is if you can build a list but make some money. Like if you have in order to get the booking, but even if you're assuming they're going to get the booking, but in order even to take the next step, you can set it up where, to proceed, enter your email address, right? And then whether they go whatever the next thing is, you already got their email address. So that's kind of like a way of cheating. Hopefully that will get approved. So I think you should reserve a part of your budget just for building the list. You should certainly do it organically. Everything that you're doing on social should be pointing. I mean, if you want to point them to a booking or pointing them to, get on an email list, you can do either of those. But one thing that I see, and this company is making gobs of insane amounts of money. Like they'll sell you something, but before you can even put in your credit card information, they have a page which just says to proceed, enter your email address. And so they get the email address, and then when you do that, it takes you to fill out the order form. So that's a way of capturing them on the way to getting a booking if you want to do it that way.
Okay.
I hope that's helpful.
No, that's very helpful.
I think it makes sense. And the other thing that you can do is, I mean, in terms of organically, but if you have an opportunity to get in front of other people's audiences where it doesn't cost you money. I'm in front of Tiger Toledo's audience today. Fortunately, he didn't pay me, or I didn't have to pay him to be here. But I get to talk to you guys about my expertise, and it's free for everybody. So it's good. But if at the end of this thing I said, if you really want to get great, the next level, just sign up for my email list over here. You can get this PDF, or you get this video, or just get the latest updates from me. Then I can use platforms like this to send people to build an email list as well.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Donnie. So any final words, brother?
Look, another thing, if you have people who have your audience, but they're non-competitive with you, right? Who's somebody who has adult children? There's probably somebody, and that you can like cross promote. That way, they do for you, you do for them, and everybody grows their list. And you're offering a service to their people that they may need, and you're offering a service to their people that they may need, and everybody wins on that in that case too. So I think people don't think about leveraging other people's networks, and leveraging sounds like a impersonal word, but I mean helping each other out. That's what I mean to say.
Collaboration.
Collaboration. Thank you. That's a good word. For me, the final word is this: no matter what we're doing, we need to be effective communicators.
Yes.
And the mouthpiece is gold. You should hold yourself to the same standard when it comes to your online material. You want to be golden with your copy on your website, on your ads, especially on your ads, you're spending money directly on your landing pages and on social. and the core pieces of that are understanding who your audience is. And I say it like this: what their dreams and desires are, their pains and problems, and their fears and frustrations. That's where you get emotion, right? If you know automatically this is what they want out of life, you can talk about those things. They're going to be interested because you're talking to them. This is what they're frustrated about. You start talking about that thing. Problem agitates solution. You're frustrated because you can't get anybody to sign up for your email list. It really does suck, right? Because how are you supposed to grow your business? How are you supposed to scale if you can't get email addresses? You can't automate. And so that's agitation. And then he said, well, here's an easy way to fix that. And that's the solution. So problem, agitate, solve. Yes. Pains, problems, fears, frustrations, dreams, and desires. Talk about those things. And again, hold yourself to that standard. In everything I do, I want to touch somebody in one of those areas where they see me as a solution to help them get where they want to go or get away from where they want to get away from. And ultimately, these things will grow your business. They'll help you be seen as a trusted authority and someone who really understands the audience who you're trying to talk to. And so then when they think about who do I want to help me in my time of need, you should be the first person to pop up. So that's, I guess, the final word. Words.
Indeed. Hey, you guys, get the subject line science book. It's only $9.99. You could pre-order your copy. You're also going to get the bonuses of the Steal My Subject Lines, just that alone. Plus, there's a 45-minute video attached to it while you wait, and you can actually start studying this stuff and start implementing these subject lines in your email marketing. You guys have to have email marketing. That is one of your key components to scale your notary business or whatever business that you decide to be in or get in. I highly suggest that, even if you're starting it off organically and you have like one or two, subscribers, tell your people on Instagram, jump on your list. Tell your people on YouTube, jump on your list. Tell your people on Facebook, jump on your list. Because if you ever get put in Facebook jail or YouTube decides to give you a slap, you're prepared. You're not really concerned about that. Ladies and gentlemen, if I did not have my email list when Google shadow banned me, I'd be working at Denny's right now, asking you, do you want, egg, sausage, and pancakes? Do you want the triple delight? It's not cool, man. I ain't going back, B. Never broke again, baby. So I'm speaking from experience, Donnie. What you have done to help me out in my business has been tremendous. I'm grateful to be able to call you a friend, a mentor, a coach, and that's why my platform is always your platform. Anytime you want to come on the platform and help out fellow entrepreneurs and notaries alike, please do so. Again, ladies and gentlemen, get the subject line science book. The bonus alone will pay for itself. So with that being said, peace, love, and happiness. I wish you guys the very best. Get this money, man.